Hey Ian, can you pass me a Cheez-It? I'm starving.
If Neo's starving, I have the guarantee I can get this Cheez-It over to him. Because if I mess it up, he will die.
Dude, just pass me a Cheez-It.
I'll be back. I gotta go make something real quick.
Where are you going?
So what we need to do is we need to find some way of launching these Cheez-Its. So I just want to work with things I have at home. Right now, I have a rubber band as some sort of power mechanism to launch it. And I have this thing of machine screws I can also use. And then I also have my 3D printer that we can use to make something. So what I came up with is this. So how this works is you'll be able to take the rubber band and attach it between this point back here and this point back here. So once it's fully loaded, it's going to want to fly forwards. In order to prevent it from flying forwards, we have the trigger, which the trigger has this little hook on it, and on the bottom side of this piece is a little notch that it grabs into. So when it's not retracted back, there's a spring that pushes up on this, and whenever you pull the trigger, it pulls down, lets go of the hook, and allows it to fly forwards out the barrel. And the barrel's just guided, so it just pushes the Cheez-It to the front, smacks it, and flies out. So what we can do is we can just go like this. So what we have is the Mark 1 Cheez-It launcher. It's pretty good. So what we can do is we can pull this back and we can put on the rubber band. So I'm gonna set it down, do the rubber band. So what we can do is we can take the rubber band, put it on. It's a bit hard just from how tense it is because it is double wrapped. And now that we have it on, so our trigger, like I said, spring loaded, we can pull it back, take our Cheez-It, load it in, and then it's all ready to fire. So some of the issues with it in the future, one big no-no with 3D printing is you definitely don't want to print something that looks like this and is purely black. You don't want an orange tip in the future, or highly recommended you just make it not in the color black. And some of the other things with it is when I printed it, the layer lines didn't come out the best on the bottom here due to it needing support material because of this piece, and that piece was not big enough, so in the future I'd recommend making it thicker, but other than that I'd say it's pretty good.
ATF, open up!
What the
Ian, where have you been?
I got you something that can deliver you your Cheez-It, so just hold on a second, I'll show you. So Neil, what I made is I made this Cheez-It launcher. So what you do is you cock it back, you take your Cheez-It, load in, and then what I do is just aim, fire it to you.
Well, what? A Cheez-It? You took that
What?
literally?
What?
Obviously I wanted more than one.
I thought you were gonna start. You know what? I'll be back in a second. Don't worry about it. Just sit there and... This is just unacceptable. It's not good enough. We're only able to fire one Cheez-It at a time. Look at all these Cheez-Its. Neo could be eating these, but he's not. We need more. This isn't good enough. Get rid of all this. We don't need it. What we need is we need something that's pure Cheez-It. We need something like this, the Mark II. This thing is designed to be a Cheez-It. It is a Cheez-It. It is based on the Cheez-It, the perfect shape. It's family size, Mark II. Magazine fed and magazine reloadable, electric powered, dual motors with dual rulers, able to achieve a top speed of 80 miles per hour for a Cheez-It. Like, tell me, that thing couldn't do 80, that thing did like 20. How am I supposed to, that's so much wasted time. So, this masterpiece, as great as it looks, it was not easy. It was not an easy journey. The first issue is, when I tried designing it, I started with gears. So I wanted to drive it with a gear train that used a single motor like this. However, I started to encounter my first issues here. First off, the motor, as it didn't create the torque I thought it would, and then with the gear ratio, it still wasn't getting as high RPMs as I thought based on the rated listing. Also, I started having issues with the plastic mount warping due to so much heat. So what I need to do next is move on to something else. So I got rid of the gear train entirely and I moved on to single motors. So I got bearings and I went with these super small motors. These are designed for upgraded Nerf guns. They spin up to 37,000 RPM and they have a decent amount of torque. However, I couldn't do gears with this as it was too much backload. So what I needed is some sort of roller device to shove the Cheez-Its into and launch them. So I started with paint rollers first. However, no good. Then I went to fully plastic ones. However, these also kept having issues with the motor just ripping out all the plastic inside of them. So, no good. Then I got the big chungus. I got metal inserts for the center. However, these ones just failed, so I needed to make another set, which worked out perfectly, and which is currently in it. So we don't need any of that stuff anymore. All we need is this, a 12-volt LiPo battery, and we're good to give as many Cheez-Its as possible. But it was still troubleshooting with a lot of this. The rollers, a lot of their issues is they'd spin up and just like, they're not stable. Even these ones themselves aren't that stable at high speeds. That's why when you hear it, it's such a high-pitched winding sound. So that's part of the issue. And then a lot of the other things have just lingered on the design. This was originally here for the gear design. These two were originally for the motor that I showed, and then this one was originally for a different battery I tried fitting. However, with that not working, I moved on past all those challenges, and now we're able to get him the Cheez-Its he deserves. But before we get to that, I want to look back at all the failures we had along it. So, what do you think? I got you your Cheez-Its.
Oh, yeah, thanks, but maybe next time just hand me a bag.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna start, so I just wanted to get to them to you quickly, but yeah.
Thanks.
So what do you do for the past 3 months? I just want to say thank you to you guys for watching. It means a lot to me. This project took 3 months to make, and I really enjoy doing stuff like this, and I hope to keep doing stuff like this in the future. So if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, share it, show it to your friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.